think designing good questions for clients when you're trying to make a sale would be the easiest thing in the world. Yet, so few salespeople do a good job in this area. Why is that? Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan. We're broadcasting from the High Performance Center here in Minato-ku, in Akasaka, in the very business center of Tokyo. So why is it that salespeople don't know how to ask good questions? Well, a big part of it is training. Often people get into sales by accident. They couldn't do something else and they wound up trying to be in sales. They come into a company and often there's no sales training or there's very little sales coaching. So basically you're on your own. Now, the question design component is a critical area in the sales process. Now, building trust before you get to questions, that's also a very critical area, but we'll talk about that on another day. Let's talk about assuming we've built some trust and the client's ready to receive questions from us because we've asked permission to ask questions. In Japan, you have to ask permission because the buyer is God and you as a lowly salesperson are way down here somewhere, and it's really rude for you to be asking questions of the buyer, but you can do it if you ask for permission. Do it in the right way. So you have to set up the questioning. We do that, we set that up, we're ready to go. So the first thing with that question is we need to understand a few things. We need to know, okay, how can I take this client from a position of probably zero or low interest to a position of high interest through my questioning? How can I also get the client to recognize a need? Now, recognizing a need, doing something about the need, sadly, not the same thing. I've got to get them to recognize the need, become aware of the need, more aware of the need, but also more motivated to do something about it. I've got to get them to look at the implications of no action. There's a cost to no action. It is not free. The cost to no action is what we call the opportunity cost, the opportunity lost of not taking action today. So our question design really should be around a number of things leading to the client to conclude themselves, yes, I need to do this. Yes, I need to take action now. That's critical. So the questions will be looking at various things like, well, okay, what's the current situation or where do they want to be at? It can start from either position. Often when I'm talking to clients, they will start telling me where they want to get to, where they want to be in the future. So we start from there. Or I might start with, well, where are you today? What's the current situation? And we're trying to get an idea of where they are today, where they want to be. What's the gap? What's the gap between those two? If the gap between where we are today and where we want to be is too small, no action. Now, our job as salespeople is to bring out the fact that there is a larger gap than maybe they're aware of. Opportunity cost is there. We've got to bring that out so they perceive, yes, there is actually quite a gap there. I do need to do something to fix that. So we understand where you are today, where you want to go. Now, here's a very good question. If you know this is where you want to be and this is where you are today, well, why aren't you there? Why aren't you doing something about it yourself? What's holding you back from fixing that need? Very, very good question. This is where often that gap, that barrier, is the solution found right here. Okay, the gap is fixed by us because we have the solution they have not been able to find for themselves. And finally, what's the payoff for them personally if this becomes a big success? As I say, built into all of that, we've got to be pulling out the implications of no action. So we've got to stage it on the way through, pull out those implications, really draw home to the client that there is an opportunity cost there of taking no action. And the really most beautiful result, the sort of dream result for a salesperson would be to have this reaction when you're asking questions. The client goes, we hadn't thought about that. Or they go, we haven't planned for that. Oh, magic, magic. What have you done? You have just made yourself an incredibly valued partner. Incredible value partner for the client because you've shown them something that they didn't consider or that they hadn't planned for, and you've drawn their attention to it. Your value goes right up as a partner with that client, and the trust is going to be right up as well. So let's get our questioning skills really working. Let's make sure we understand the elements of where they are now, where they want to be, what's stopping from being there, what's the payoff, what's the implication of no action, and see if we can really get them to dig deep and realise that there are some things they hadn't planned for or they hadn't considered, which they do need to consider. If we do that, we're going to increase our sales results by a large amount with this client. And if we do that, our results are going to go in one direction, and that is going to be up.